Welcome back to another video. Thank you for taking out time to be back here with me. As promised, I said I would have everything ready for the next video. But before we get into the video, I do want to do some unboxing of some items that I purchased, because these items are items that has to do with this video. So what better way than to show you what I received, and then we can get into the video making the soap for today. So I'm gonna hold off with the name of the soap, the kind of soap that we're gonna use. I'm gonna show you some items, but I'm not gonna tell you the items until we get to the soap making part. All right, so let's get started. So over here, you can't see it, but this is where I have all the items that I will be unboxing, opening up for you all, okay? So, of course, it's coming to you from Amazon. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm not going to do too much talking. All right, so in this bag, I ordered a loaf roll, which, if you can see, so when I make my soap, it'll have the flowers on it. I thought that was really nice. All right, that's the first item. Again, from Amazon. These are some new packages. I have not received anything in packages like this before. So it's 3 items in this one. The first one are the care cards for your soap. And this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can get it open so I can show you. Here it is. I was hoping that the back was blank so that I could just stamp my logo on it. And then on the back. That's what that looks like. So when you receive your soap, you'll get one of these care cards on how to care for your soap. The next thing is Stearic acid, and this is something that I will be using in one of my products. I don't remember what this is. Oh, okay, so these are my little containers. They're smaller than I expected. I'm trying to think what I can use these for, unless I'm gonna send them back. But as I told you guys, if I haven't, I will be making deodorant, natural, and hopefully some vegan deodorant. So I'm still have to do the testing phase for that. But these are so small. I don't know, what can I use these for? The top come off? The top is on there good. How small that is. Because I wanted to do some body balm, you know, and so I want to do them in these type containers. But these are so small, so I don't know. I'm going to either send those back or figure something out to do with them. And this is the shea butter soap base I want to try. I normally use goat milk or oatmeal. I find those two I like. But upon doing my research for dry skin, I was trying to find other things since I want to have natural and vegan products. So I'm trying to find something that's in the middle, and this is in the middle of natural and vegan. And this is, how many pounds was this? I believe this was 5 pounds. Yeah, 5 pounds. 5 pounds. And they should be 1 pound blocks. Yes, this is what they look like, 1 pound. So if I'm doing the round ones that I normally would use for my charcoal soap, and 1 pound will get me 4 of those. All right, the next box. All right, so in this one, yes, this is Arcom All the Best, is what it says. And this, you guys, hold on. It's like opening Christmas presents. All right, so this is my soap cutting kit. It comes with the instructions on how to use it. Hope you can see this. Comes with a plastic cutter, the wavy cutter, some handmade stickers, which I won't be using on my stuff most likely, but anyway. It comes with the box that you put the soap in to cut. They also give you some shrink wrap. And you have 2 of these with the silicone and the box. And not only that, you have 2 lids for your boxes. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, I'll put this in the description box. Let me see how to do this. Yes, I'll put the information in the description box. So if you're interested in any of this, just let me know. Leave a comment, or leave a comment, and I will respond back to you with the information on which one that I got. Okay, now the last box, you guys. Let's see. Okay, we're doing good. All right, so this has I got some dried mint leaves because I do want to make some mint soap. And I want to put some of this in it and see how that turns out. I got these little stickers to go on my soap boxes. You can't see them, but these are the little round clear stickers, like when the box comes and they have like little stickers, something to keep it closed. That's what these are. Also, I ordered this also. Where scissors go? Do the scissors. All right, this piece also is for your soaps. I call it a soap shaver, but I don't think that's what it's called. It's a beveler. So this is used for smoothing out your soap edges. Again, if you're interested in this, just let me know. Put it in the comments and I will send you the information. Now the last item that we have, put all this stuff in here. All right, so the last item we have, ooh, what was this? Oh, okay. This is some fragrance oil. Is it fragrance oil? No, essential oil that I got. Some vanilla. This is the brand, you guys, if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see. Okay. Okay, this vanilla smells good. Now, all vanillas are not the same. They have different smells. So I tend to order different brands just to see which one I like, to get the smell that I like and see how it will mix with certain oils that I put with it. But that is it for this. And so when we get to the soap making video, that's after this video, then you'll see which one of these items that I will be using in our product. So stay tuned. All right, we'll be right back. have everything prepped. As you saw, I was prepping all the ingredients. I got them in the order. I'm working from my recipe sheet. So what I'm going to do is now I have the hot plate warming up. And then I have my pot of water. I'm doing the double boiler method. Now my coconut oil and everything had already melted because it was already warm in the garage. So that has melted. So all I will need to do is heat up the solid, which is the shea butter and the soy wax that I will be using. So what I'm doing is I am doing a homemade melt and pour base. So in this melt and pour base, I wanted something that had wax in it so that it can make it more solid, so that it doesn't melt so easily and it keeps it firm. So that's why we have the soy wax. So let me tell you what is going to go into this project. We have vegetable glycerin oil, we have coconut oil, refined, and the vegetable glycerin is food grade. We have the soy wax, which is vegan. So for those people who are vegan, this is a good substitute. We also have shea butter, unrefined. We have olive oil. We also have castor oil, stearic acid, which is plant-based. And we're going to have some distilled water, our fragrance oil, and then also we're going to be using Optifin Plus, because since we're adding water, I want a preservative in it. And by doing a preservative, it will make it last longer versus if you don't put it in there. So now for storage purposes, if you do it with the preservative, you can get up to 12 months if you keep it in a cool and dry place. If you do it without, you need to use it within 2 to 3 weeks or refrigerate. And you can use that for your personal use or quick use only. The other, you can use it for selling purposes, gifting and all that, because it will last longer. All right, so my hot plate feels warm. So we're gonna get the water going. I'm gonna turn this up to medium so it can heat up a little faster, okay? All right, so the first part we're gonna do is get this heated up. Then we're gonna melt our solids, get that up to a certain temperature. And then from that, we're gonna heat up the distilled water. So what I'm gonna do is I will put my distilled water in the pot while it's still warm, just to heat it up to get it to a certain temperature, because it's not that much distilled water that's going into this project. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to put it in the microwave or boil it. So I'm gonna use the warm water from after everything has melted, because I do need to get this up to a certain temperature. And while we're waiting for that to cool down before we put all the other ingredients in, that will be a perfect time to heat up the distilled water. So now we're going to start adding our ingredients into the container to put into the double boiler. So you may be wondering, how do I know which one of these items are the items that I need to put in? Because from my list, I put everything in order from the way it is on my list. So the first item that we're going to put in is going to be the soy wax. That's this here. We're going to put that in. The next item is going to be the coconut oil, which is the second item. I apologize, my alarm went off and so it stopped recording. So after the coconut oil, we put the stearic acid in, and then we already have the shea butter that's in here. So now we're gonna put this over a medium heat, which is already preparing for us. So we're going to put our container in here, and we're going to let that heat up. And then once it starts melting, I will stir it to make sure everything is being blended. And then we want the temperature to come up between 150 and 160 Fahrenheit. And then from there, while that's doing that, we will, well, once that's finished, let me say, then I will take the distilled water to go ahead and warm that up, okay? But before we do that, this has to melt, and then we will add our other ingredients in. And then once we add all our other ingredients in, and then it's at the temperature we want it to be at, then we will start heating up our distilled water. Okay, I'm gonna leave that in there, and we're gonna wait for this to go ahead and heat up. So our oil is at 180, so we want it to come down some. So I'm going to take it off the heat, let it sit for a little bit, and then when it gets to 160, then I will add the other ingredients. All right, so what I did for the distilled water, I went and microwaved some water in a container, and then I set the distilled water container in it. And so I heated it up to about 190. And so let's see. So it's at 118. So we're going to let that drop down to 100 because you want it to be between 90 and 100. So we're going to wait on those two items to drop in temperature. Then we're going to add in the olive oil, the castor oil, and the vegetable glycerin. And then we're going to put it back on the heat, and we're going to turn it down to medium, and we're going to mix that to let that incorporate. And then we want to maintain that mixture to about 140 during this step, okay? All right, so we got everything at temperature. So now we're going to, well, let me keep this in the water to keep it warm. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to add in the olive oil, the castor oil, and the vegetable glycerin. All right, and we're going to mix this. And we want to keep this on medium and not to go over 150. So we're close to that 150, 155 rather, 146. All right, let me check my water, see what the temperature is with that. Okay, we'll let that drop down some before we add it. We want to constantly check this. Now, when we add the water in, it is going to drop the temperature, but we want to make sure that we keep it at 140. All right, let me check the water again, because you know water will go down fast, so we'll move the water right here so you can see it. We want it to get down to at least 100 Fahrenheit. So right now it's showing 117, so we need to still wait. And then let's make sure this is staying at the temperature we need it to stay at. Yes. So the minimum is 140, so we're at 140 now. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit because between 140 and 155. And then again, we're just waiting for the water to at least get down to 100 Fahrenheit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stick and stir it, because sometimes that will help. Nope, still. So I'm constantly checking because I don't want it to drop too low or get too high while we're waiting on the water to drop in temperature. So once the water drops in temperature and we check to make sure this is at the temperature it should be at, then we're going to pour the water in slowly and mix it. All right, so our oil is ready and the water is ready, so we're going to start pouring it in very slowly. All right, so we got that in there. And we're going to keep this between 140 and 155. So we're at 149, which is good. We're within our range. And so we want to make sure we don't drop below 140. So now that everything is combined, we're going to remove this from the heat. I don't want to take the pot off. We'll remove this from the heat. We'll turn off our burner. Now we're going to let this cool to about 130, 135, and then we're going to add our other ingredients. So now that everything is ready, we put the last 3 ingredients in. Again, I forgot to hit the record button, y'all, but I did add in the fragrance oil. I did the mixture of the color. I also added the Optifin Plus. And so everything is at temperature. Again, I do apologize. I forgot to hit the play button. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this in. I decided that I'm going to use the smaller loaf mold. So we're going to get all this poured in. Now I'm hoping that the color doesn't sink to the bottom, because like I said, I didn't use any emulsifier. But this recipe didn't call for one. So okay. All right, so we're gonna let this sit for about 4 to 6 hours, and it should be hardened by that time. If not, we're gonna let it sit a little longer. If we have to do it overnight to get the consistency that we want, the hardness that we need, then we'll do that. But let's go ahead and let this sit, and then we'll be back and we'll see where it is in 4 to 6 hours. Well, I decided, since I was waiting for the soap to finish sitting, that I would just go ahead and clean up my workstation. So I put away everything that was on the table that we were using to make the products, and I put away everything that was on the back table that was behind me. And so while this is hardening, and by the time when I come back, everything will be nice and clean and ready. So I don't have to worry about moving stuff out the way because I've already done that. So let me show you what it's looking like now. All right, you guys, this looked like it was a flop. I don't know what happened, but as you can see, it's still, the oil is still at the top, but it feels like the bottom part did get hard. I'm not understanding. Maybe the next time I will put some emulsifier, I think I'm saying it right, in it, because for some reason this did not take. Again, like I said, the bottom part is hard, but the top part never solidified. So back to the drawing board. As I stated, this was my first attempt with this recipe. So sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. That's what testing is all about. You test, you test, you test, and then once you get a product that you like, then you can go ahead and release it. But for this one, it's a flop, you guys. Look at that. And this is the next day. It's almost 12 o'clock. So that's more than 12 hours from the time I started. And this still did not solidify. All right, if this is content that you like, go ahead and like, share, comment, hit that notification button, and also, most importantly, go ahead and subscribe to Time Out Candle Co., where we will continue doing more testing and sharing my journey. All right? Remember, if you don't start now, you may never start later. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get started.